Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are on episode number, Lou,
Number 8, ladies and gentlemen.
number
Number
8.
8. What
Gee,
is happening, Sir Bash? How are you
yes.
doing on this fine episode, bro?
I'm doing mighty fine, thank you, Lord Lou. How are you doing?
Oh, my Lord Lou's doing stellar, mate. Absolutely stellar. Tell you what, number 8 used to be my favorite number
Oh,
for
really?
I don't know what reason. And then it changed to 47. And now we just don't have favorite numbers anymore, man. I don't know if it's a thing of growing up, but episode 8.
Episode 8,
Give
we are
myself
here.
a pat on the shoulders for that,
There
bro.
you go,
I'm
there you
feeling
go.
chuffed about that.
But we are approaching double digits, man. That's a big deal. That is really a big deal, And again, thank you to all the followers, the subscribers, the
Yeah.
interactors, everyone who's commenting, sharing, all this kind of stuff. Please keep the support up. I've been getting, I got some really good feedback about our last episode. When we were dealing with emotions and all that kind of stuff. It was a touchy subject, right? It was a
Was it
weird.
was it feedback from all the females?
Yeah. Not all of them were female, but majority. Majority. I don't know. So I don't know if it was more helpful to the female audience. Maybe the guys were like, "Really, dude? Like this is basic." No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I thought you're going in the reason like, bro, I don't have emotions, but then you
Nah.
just like pulled a 180 on the woman there again, bro.
Yeah, listen. We gotta be we gotta be objective and we gotta be fair about these things. It's just how it is. But Lou, how's your week been, man? We are in November, dude. November.
Bro, can I just say it feels like someone's put the accelerator button onto time itself because I swear it was like yesterday that I was busy saying what's up to you in episode 7. And here we are at episode 8. Not to mention, like, if you had to literally ask me to recall what I've done in the past week, it's a blur. Well, man, it is a blur. It's not to say that I haven't done anything, don't get me wrong. It's just that the days are literally like morphing into each other. Like today, let's take today, for example. I literally spent the whole day doing one freaking project, man.
Oof.
And like, it was great, we're learning a lot of things and things were coming to life. And like, oh, a lot of aha moments, which
Ah,
is always fun. But yeah, see, it drains you, man. It really, really drains you. But as always, the weather's on my side. So it's nice and cool and raining, which is great. So it was a good, comfortable environment for it, man.
no, bro. The rain was a problem today. Let's be honest. Oh my gosh. I don't know why it always chooses to rain when I want to play tennis. I can't. I can't do it, dude. I'm just yeah. I got no
It's a
words,
sign, Bash. Just stop playing tennis, bro. Give it up.
dude. You take that back. You take that back. Oh my gosh. I will not accept such negativity on the show. Llewellyn van Eerden.
Hey, it's objective anchors, man.
Yeah.
How that makes your emotions feel up to you, bro.
Yeah, but
Speaking of, there was
mm,
something that I wanted to mention to you last week, right? And because we watched the World Cup, the Rugby World Cup in
yeah,
different venues,
yeah.
but there was a few moments when I was like, yes, Bash must be celebrating right now. And those only moments was when they showed Roger Federer wearing the Springboks scarf.
Woo! Roger was in the stands with the Springbok on, boy.
Uh,
Springbok. I loved it, man. I loved
yeah,
it.
I thought that was so cool. I was like, Bash must be happy right now.
I'll be honest. When I saw him, I did get very excited. Then I had to remember I'm watching a rugby match. This isn't his thing.
Yeah, we're
Kind
not there
kind of
for
thing.
him.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, to your point, dude, that accelerator. Oh my gosh. Once you hit October, they call it silly season. And I promise you, October. I remember we arrived and then I blinked and October was gone, dude. I was like, what is happening here? This is insane. Like the time is gone and already we're on the 7th of November. Well, as of today is the 7th
Yeah.
of November, time of this recording, right? And we're going to blink again. It's going to be December, dude. Jeez, it is insane.
Yeah, and for the audience out there, those that aren't listening locally in South Africa, let us just tell you right now that December in South Africa is a vibe.
Oh, it's a
It
vibe.
is, it is, sheesh, man. It's like another season in a sense, bro. I don't know.
Yeah,
The,
dude.
the whole country just goes crazy. It's like whether we're working or not, it's December, boys.
Yeah,
So,
you just feel it in the air, bro. You just feel it in the
literally,
air. It's there. It's like chilled. And I know everyone in South Africa runs to the coast in December, right?
yeah.
But for the last couple of years, my philosophy has been like, hey, stay home because there is nobody here, dude. Like it's amazing. You never have to stand in a line. There's no issues about products on the shelves. You don't have to worry about anything, not even traffic, dude. It is
Yeah.
amazing. Like from the 16th of December up until the first week of January, it is brilliant here in the Josie. So
Yeah, it's a place to be, man. The
yeah,
coast can have its tourists and its visitors, but we'll be in Joburg, bro, doing
that's
what
it,
we do
man.
best.
That's it. Well, I mean, I've got a trip very far away this December, but
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't even had time to even think about how I feel about that yet, dude. Do you even get excited for it or everything? It's just I've just been so busy, man. Yeah, see,
Well,
I just been
tell you what, once the plans are more finalized and you feel a bit more excited and you know what's going on in your life,
Mm,
you can tell the audience about that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna put a special request in, Lord Lou and the audience, that we need like content from you, bro. Absolute content on your
Uh,
holiday
I will do that.
that
I
we
will do
can
that.
experience it vicariously through you. How does that sound?
I like that. I will do that. I'll even post to the respawn page if I've got signal. How's that?
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm gonna take all the content and then come back and do it. We'll see. But good news is, I did
yeah.
watch a tutorial on YouTube on how to use my phone's camera properly, because my phone's
Oh,
my
that's
phone's
cool.
like
Yeah, it's
it's like
pretty
very
jacked
cool.
up. It's
Yeah, it's jacked.
one of the ones leading in the markets.
Yeah, yeah, it's jacked. So the I've been testing out all those settings and stuff, and man, it is like some really cool content. Let me tell you, it's
Boss.
like very cool. Yeah, but then I'm getting stuck in that trap of like, okay, I don't want to look like one of those guys who always has his phone out, like, yeah, kind of thing.
You
But it's
do it,
fun.
bro. Who cares? Who
Nah,
cares? You're never gonna see those people ever again.
yeah, but you gotta be in the moment, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Or you
we'll
can
see.
capture the moment.
Okay, fair enough. Memory and phone. There we go. We'll just do that. But Lou,
Yeah.
what are you most looking forward to this holiday season? I know, was it last episode before, you were talking about the struggle of, do I take a holiday? Do I do I keep working? Do I,
Mm. Yeah, I'm gonna give you like the most boring answer possible right now. Well, it might be boring for some of the audience. I'm excited for it, bro. I'm excited to be just working on this business that I've started, man. I'm excited to just keep on pushing through with the various projects that are at hand and kind of starting the next year with a bang, man. It's pretty cool because typically December's always been quite a slowdown for me when I
Yeah.
was in the real estate industry, and a very welcome slowdown. Like, oh, thank goodness, not talking to certain people, not talking to the attorneys, not dealing with government. It's been great, but this year I've got a different opportunity to experience it a bit differently, and
Mm.
I'm hyped, man.
No,
Absolutely
nice.
hyped. I know it sounds very boring. Look, I'm sure I'll throw some relaxation in there somewhere, but yeah, man, we're excited just to carry on with the work, I suppose. Yeah, I know it sounds boring, audience, but that's it.
But
Lose.
but it's so interesting the way like creativity and productivity affect you. It's like motivating. It pushes you to do more. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You get like this cool momentum. Where if you're gaining ground and you're ticking those things off. And I'm not just talking about like normal work at a job. I'm talking about like if you've got an inspiration in your heart, if you've got a vision,
Mm,
if you're taking those steps uh, um to get it complete. You know it's almost like it doesn't burn you out, like it doesn't,
yeah.
it doesn't like make you crash and stuff. Look, you still feel the fatigue and all that kind of stuff, but in a different way. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
get the physical fatigue, but that mental burnout really doesn't come along if you
Mm,
manage it
mm.
well. And it's funny what you're saying because I was actually chatting to my sister today, also owns her own business and has been running that for the past 10 years. And, we were just talking about the thing of, like there are going to be late nights, etc., etc. And it was such a cool thing that she said. The one comment was, "But isn't that just great? Like, isn't that exciting?" Like, that's literally her viewpoint. Like, it's mine. It's my late night. Why the hell not?
Mm,
And it's just
mm.
like, it's a great perspective to have, Cecilia. Well done to you.
Yeah.
I'll be jotting that one down because I can relate to it, and it's a healthier perspective to have. In all
Mm,
honesty,
mm.
I'd much rather be working towards a goal and a dream than just thinking about it. In all honesty,
Yeah. It's kind of like that mindset of, push the limits, and I mean, we've touched on that enough, but I mean, just the curiosity of, wow, what could I actually achieve?
yeah,
And you do one little thing, then your confidence is like, hey, what, I did that. And then you do another thing, and like, wow. Then you do
yeah,
another thing, and you just keep going, and eventually you're actually like this steam engine. You're just going
yeah.
down the tracks, and it's like it's such a cool feeling, man. And last week we were talking about emotions, and we spoke a lot about the negative ones, obviously, because
Mm,
that's always the focus what people do. But I mean, I think this week, you know, because there was a lot to think about on that last
mm,
episode. There really was, and like I said, the feedback that I did get, people said that, hey, listen, you guys are talking about some good stuff here,
yeah,
because not only was it uh, um relevant, but it was useful,
yeah.
which is what we aim for in respawn. It's the better way, yeah, if we can call it that. But
The practical better
yeah,
way,
yeah,
not out
yeah.
of touch, 5
Y-
a.m.,
y-
2 a.m. morning better way.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one. That's the one. The late night, late night.
Yeah.
But just take those emotions of actually completing something or accomplishing something, or dude. Let's take an example, right? How hectic was the crash after the Rugby World Cup?
Bro, like Monday was depressing, man. It was
It
like an
was weird, eh?
anticlimax. Yeah.
Yeah, see, dude. Because we had this whole week, we're like, yeah, we're in the final. It's New Zealand. You're watching every analysis. You're hearing every commentary. You're doing all these kind of things. You're
Yeah.
getting hyped up. You're talking about it with all your people. And then you get to the game. You're so stressed out. You're like, oh my goodness. And then it was what? An hour after the game. And in your mind,
Right.
you're like,
Cheers, guys. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
yeah, and then you wake up on Sunday and it's business as usual. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? It was like so weird, but when this process that you're talking about, where you are taking it on you, and I think this is where the hard work ethic died personally,
mm,
right? I know for me it died for a little while because being in a position, or not a position, sort of environment,
yeah.
being in an environment where you don't have the freedom to express your creativity, or you don't have the opportunity, you know um it can be an environment that can stifle you very quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And then the worst part is like, they always use that what's that analogy where they say, you know yeah, I'm working so hard to make someone else rich. You know that thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, the thing is, hard work is great. Guys, listen, work as hard as you can. That's the point.
Yeah.
Hard
100%.
work's always rewarding, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is when you're in that environment where you don't get to put effort into what you're carrying in your heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you don't get to put effort into, like, making it a reality with, like, physically in front of you. It gets very disheartening to stay motivated, you know?
Yeah.
You hit that proverbial rut, you know?
Mm,
And eventually it just becomes this kind of comfort zone where you definitely know you're not on the front foot,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And those good emotions from working hard and achieving things and everything, when you're in a situation like that, they reach a plateau very quickly.
Yeah.
They kind of flatten out.
Yeah.
And they say, like, in the workplace, if you arrive in a new position at a new company or whatever, they say within 3 to 6 months, okay, if you're a good worker, within 3 to 6 months, you've already reached the proficiency you need.
Yeah.
They say that everything after that timeline, or after that timestamp, is going to be redundant. It's just going to be the same routine over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Obviously, except for certain environments, obviously.
Yeah.
But typically after those 3 to 6 months, when you're done learning, when you're done adapting, all that kind of stuff, you just hit that,
Mm.
and you get stuck in that kind of, what's the word, lull, if I can call
Yeah,
it
it's a
that.
bit of a lull, bit of a limbo almost, where
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
almost it's not that you're lost and you don't know where you're going. It's just you kind of like lose sight of the direction that you were
Mm,
going in, and you lose sight of the reason, the reason that you're heading in there in the first place.
mm,
But it's cool what you're mentioning because that lack of creativity the lack of an environment which inspires their creativity, it's a massive thing, man.
yeah, of
And just to
course.
like disclaim out there, when we say creativity, we're not just talking about your typical run of the mill creative things. It can be
Mm,
whatever profession you qualified in. You can be creative.
yeah.
Like, dude, some of the things I've seen you do with Excel, like, damn, that is creative as hell. And in my mind, Excel's like the most boring looking interface program and confusing as heck program I've ever come
Dude,
across. But hey, you're creative with it,
listen, but I will state hands down that Excel is still the greatest piece of software I've ever used in my life, dude.
bro.
I-
The videos I see on TikTok, man,
Dude.
of the infographics that these people are creating with Excel. And I'm
Yes,
like,
dude.
why do we need Photoshop, y'all? Sal's doing the job.
No, it's insane. Eh? I think was it you? Someone sent me a link for Excel championships here in South Africa or something. I'm like, hey, whoa, hold on, listen, listen.
Uh,
I got some Excel skill, but listen, those guys who go to that thing, no ways, brother, no
There's
ways.
a whole thing right there.
Yeah,
But it's
they.
it's cool that you mentioned that, bro, because actually one of the topics that we wanted to talk about tonight was to take it all the way back to episode one, where we mentioned that, hey guys, when you're on the process, having a mentor is absolutely critical. And the reason why I'm bringing that up now, and I want to digress a bit by telling you a bit of a story, is that my mother has been in a leadership position for like the past 12 years of her life, right?
Sure.
She's been principal at a primary school, and I don't think people understand how much that entails. But basically, you have to lead 60 adults minimum plus 1,000 more kids.
Yeah.
So the list is endless. And just from witnessing her and just being on the sidelines, being in the house with her and stuff, and seeing the steps that she has to take as the leader and as the mentor in that environment to keep it creative for the other adults there and for the
Mm,
children,
mm,
man, it is huge. And sometimes I literally sit back and I'm like, gosh, I think I must just try and make a plan to go work at a school because, like, that's cool. It's cool to have someone above you that's looking out for you in this way,
yeah.
that is waking up each day and in their mind, it's not just let me make sure that A, B, and C gets done, but it's like, let's make sure that A, B, and C gets done in the most creative, enjoyable manner
Mm,
for everyone involved, whilst ensuring that the job gets done properly.
yeah. Yeah.
And witnessing that, I've seen what an impact that it makes because then obviously she gets a lot of the personal feedback and she
Mm,
gets a lot of people wanting to transfer from other schools to her school purely because of how she's running things. And the reason why I'm bringing all of that up is to say that on a sort of bigger scale, she's the mentor in the process that everyone's going through there. And it's her putting steps like that into place, or any leader putting steps like that into place, that really inspires the guys in the middle of that limbo, right? That we were talking about to push on,
yeah. For sure.
and it's just
Absolutely.
we were just talking about that in episode one to say that guys, a mentor on the process,
Mm,
absolutely critical.
yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
critical. Not so that you can, just have someone to go to when the things are going tough, but just have someone that like you were mentioning, and you can expound a bit more on this, someone that's looking from the outside in with
Mm,
the objective
mm.
viewpoint.
Yeah, yeah. It's always that thing that when you're dealing with older people in life, Deeds always told me this thing. He says, listen, when you're dealing with older people, always remember, because
Yeah.
there's like that weird thing where every young person gets to a stage where they're so in touch with the world and they're on top of all the new developments and all this kind of stuff that the older generation they kind of like lose patience with them. You know that whole thing.
Yeah.
Like my mom sends me a picture the one day and she's like, every time I ask you for help, the picture was said, every time I
Yeah.
ask you for help with a cell phone or a laptop, just remember I taught you how to use a spoon. I was like, okay, okay, let's just dial it back, okay,
Yeah.
mom, please, let's just dial it back a bit, okay.
It's just using violence, bro.
Yeah, she doesn't want peace, she wants problems.
Yeah, apparently.
But it's always Deeds always used to say this. Oh, he still does actually. He says, remember that the people who are ahead of you, especially like many years ahead of you,
Mm,
they've already forgotten lessons that you still need to learn.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you think about that, and to the viewers who are watching, wherever you are on your journey, if you're kind of still early on in that journey, um, the pressure of all that you have to learn and do that lies ahead of you is something hectic, you know.
Yeah.
But if you are connecting with people who have already been there, who've already ticked all the boxes, already got the t-shirt, all these kind of things, the
Yeah.
idea of saving yourself so much time and so much pain, so much effort by just adopting the experience.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the goal should always be that every generation stands on the shoulders of the previous one.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. That is a tough one. And I've got my own personal reasons for saying that. And maybe I should play devil's advocate tonight in bringing those up.
Oh no. No devils allowed here, Llewellyn.
But we have to pick it apart, man. Because if an ordinary guy like me is thinking that, then I'm sure someone else in the audience is as well. And the reason why I say it's a tough one, and geez, it's not even just secluded to South Africa alone, where we've got a major political history with the older generation, but just the older generation in general. At times, it can be very difficult to have that and keep that mindset that you just mentioned in place.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
look at where things are now because of said older generations, and you honestly do ask yourself, is there anything to learn besides what not to learn? And it gets a bit tricky, man,
N-
because just take it. Let's bring it real close. Take family members or friends, and their families, etc., etc. And you look how people do things, and you're just like, I want to learn from you, but you're not giving me a lot to work with here. you know and what I've had to find is that in my own personal experience and relationships is that I've really had to keep my heart open to discerning what's
yeah.
being said and
Yeah.
taking a principle out of it, or listening and trying to see the wisdom that they are busy passing down to me in whatever they're saying,
Mm.
but taking that which works and that which doesn't work in accordance to the objective anchor being Christ that we spoke about in the previous episodes.
Yeah.
Because, man, I look at some of these older generations and good Lord, bro, I do not want to be where they are. And neither do I want to be influencing the generations after me in the way that they have.
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
that's put me in a tricky place in my heart because sometimes I do struggle. And audience, put in the comments if you agree with me. Sometimes it's difficult to listen with an open heart to these people, man. Because you're like, you know what? No, I don't like how you're doing things right now. And then I need to take an honest step back and say, well, maybe I just need to grow up a bit, yeah. Like, hey, suck it up, Lou. You can't have your cake and eat it too. But I do believe that there is a gentle balance involved
No,
in
absolutely.
in listening with the wisdom. So,
Mm.
as much as you are saying, Bash, that we should, remember that yes, there are lessons that they've already forgotten that I'm still coming in to learn. But the experience that they had, I don't have to copy and paste it, man. Their
Well,
experience is theirs and mine is mine, right? So am I going a bit new generation when I say that?
so I think you're touching on something important because there are a few mechanics, like in my mind, that we
Mm,
should probably break down there. Okay, so number one, let's talk about that objective anchor again. And I mean,
yeah,
viewers, I mean, if you've been following, you know what this is, and you know why Jesus has to be our external anchor, right?
yeah,
Because I mean, he's the standard of truth. You know what I'm saying? He's the standard of truth. He's the standard of love. He's the standard of freedom. You know, all that kind of stuff. So that's like the first mechanic. So it's kind of like, um, if you don't have that mechanic in place,
mm,
you know what we actually fall into. We start trying to make people be that external anchor.
ish, it's a
Yeah,
tough one.
and this is where it gets tricky because you see, for it to be an external anchor, you need someone who's perfect.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So, for
yeah,
example, let's say, uh, um, let's say there's a business mentor, or something like that, that you're choosing now. Okay, cool. I want to follow this person, or whatever it is. If you don't have the external anchor of Christ, what's going to happen is that where that person is seemingly imperfect in certain areas of their life, right?
mm,
And you notice this now because I mean you're walking with them, you're spending time with them, you're learning from them, all this kind of stuff.
yeah,
What tends to happen is that we start to lessen the experience that they can offer.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We like, oh, because you do that other thing like terribly. I mean, what
Almost
good
like
is you?
painted a bit,
Yeah,
We did it
exactly.
bleed into each other.
Yeah, it's like, listen, what good is this? Kind
Yeah,
of thing. And even with that, the expectation when we're dealing with people is it can't be high, right?
oh, that sounds
Wait,
terrible,
wait,
bro.
hold on. I realized after I said that. Hold on, that's not what I mean. Okay, I don't mean it in the way that you're taking it now.
Sorry, Sabash.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. And the thing is, this is the reason why I said, our expectation mustn't be high, is because we don't have high expectations for ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
You with me? I mean, we
Yeah,
know all our insecurities at the core of the core.
yeah,
You with me? But just because we don't have sight of another person's insecurities or weakness the way we have our own, doesn't mean we must place a confidence in them that we don't even place in ourselves. You
yeah,
with me? Nobody's perfect.
yeah. It's
No,
true.
nobody's perfect, and there is no reason to have a perfect expectation.
Yeah,
And maybe we can go into that on a later episode about how Jesus teaches us in moderating that expectation, right?
yeah,
But the truth is, no one is perfect, and unless you have that objective anchor, you'll never have that unconditional approach to someone.
hmm.
You understand? Because if you want to submit to someone as a leader,
Yeah.
right? So if you want to submit to someone as your leader, right? Internally you already are creating a standard that, wait a minute, if I'm going to choose to submit, this person needs to fulfill X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. And
You
that
with me?
person doesn't even know it yet, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's your own kind of personal things. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But the truth is that there is no perfect leader. The only perfect leader is Christ.
Mm.
Right? Look, I know a few leaders that come really close. Man, they are amazing. Like seriously, you know. But Christ is the only perfect leader. You know.
Yeah.
But those who have allowed Christ to work in their lives will lead you in a way that's very similar to the way He would lead you. You know what I'm
Well, at
saying?
least it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, we would see the fruit that the Bible talks of.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making is that, we always have to come back to making allowance for each other. You with me? And
Yeah.
and the allowance doesn't mean being a doormat. It doesn't mean fighting or being aggressive with boundaries. It doesn't
Mm.
mean any of that. That's relationship stuff that everyone has to manage with the wisdom of the Holy Spirit. But um the unconditional side of it, the making allowance for it, is understanding that people aren't perfect.
Mm.
And it's actually only a fruit from Christ Himself through the Holy Spirit, where you'll be able to see valuable things in people who are seemingly terrible.
Mm. Yeah, and on the flip side of that, Bash, just to bring it out there, is that we have to make allowance for the people that we choose to be our mentors. Vice versa applies as well. Is that if you are in a position, as anyone who's listening, to be a mentor to someone else, is
Mm.
to make allowance for that person as well.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. And the thing is, this is, there's two kinds of leadership. You
Yeah,
get a leadership that's kind of like skill and knowledge based, right? Like
yeah,
like a mentor. I mean, if you go for an apprenticeship, okay, let's say you're gonna go for an apprenticeship for welding, for example,
yeah,
right? So if you go for that apprenticeship, the welder that you're going to be following, you're learning how to weld from him.
yeah.
You with me? But then there's the life
Mm,
and the heart kind of leader mentorship, kind of thing. And with that kind of relationship, it's more about how they're doing what they're doing as opposed to what they're doing.
yeah, 100%.
You understand what I'm saying? Um, so let's talk about the first one. Well, both of those. I mean, everyone has those kind of relationships. At differing levels in their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because the truth is if you make every relationship about your level of skill or knowledge, right? It's actually not relationships.
yeah. It
Yeah,
sounds a bit transactional, man.
it's completely transactional because the worst part is that you're always going to end up in competition.
Yeah,
Always,
100%. And eventually, you know
Mm.
what? The person that you're busy break the mic, bro.
Whoops.
And eventually, you know what? The person that you in a relationship like that with, that's performance. As soon as that person realizes their value, they're out, man.
Mm.
They're like, I'm not going to put up with this,
Yeah.
and almost rightfully so,
Yeah.
because there is really a big limitation to the value that you receive out of
Mm.
a relationship like that.
Yeah. And I think, dude, have you ever noticed with relationships, maybe you can comment a bit more here, is how easily we as people, okay, we blur the boundaries of relationship. I'll give you a basic example, right? And
Yeah,
maybe you can expand a bit more. So um let's talk about a scenario where you got a bad boss,
yeah,
right? Now, you go to work and you expect the boss to treat you X, Y, and Z, right? But you've signed an employment contract. There's a list of duties you got to do. You're getting a salary every month, and the boss is like, "Could you just get your job done?"
yeah,
And the boss is gonna have moods, and he's gonna be difficult. He or she's gonna be difficult, and all this kind of stuff. And in the mix of all of that, you're developing this like cool rapport with the boss. Like the funny conversations, talk about sport, the jokes, everything. And
mm.
then the one day the boss flips out because under pressure, whatever, and you get treated badly, and you're just like, how could they treat me like this? Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can ever look at
Yeah,
them again.
yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's surprising to me how easily we fall into that trap, that even with our mentors, I mean, familiarity is such a dangerous thing,
Oof,
because you must
extremely.
remember, we decide the honor that we carry. People
Yeah,
don't prove the honor that they deserve to us. We
yeah,
decide the honor that we carry. You with me?
yeah,
And it's our job to make sure that we keep that in place. But I mean, Lou, if you want to talk on that, I don't know what your experience is with it, where those relationships, those boundaries, how we can blur them so easily.
Yeah, man. I think it was in 2019. I was busy working at a place in Sanson, and it didn't happen to me, thank God. But I was busy, like, on a daily. I was witnessing the exact things that you were mentioning. So I was working for a guy there, a very cool guy. Him and his wife owned their own company, and fantastic people. Outside of the workplace, fantastic people. But at work, they know how to run the place. They know how to run the operations, and part and parcel of why they used to run the operations with such a strict method is because if they didn't do it, no one would really pitch up and just do it themselves.
Mm,
So they sort of fell into a mentality of, you know what, we have to be dragons, otherwise people are going to take advantage of us, which is, it's cool. It works to a degree. It gets the job done. But I see, man, it always used to surprise me because I was the youngest person there by like an easy 20 years, bro, in regards to like the sales office that I was working in.
yeah.
And it's like none of them clicked to understand that, guys, there is different, like, how can I say, parameters in which to interact with this guy who is also incidentally your boss. And exactly what you're saying, when this guy got under stress, man, he was like horrible. Like, phew,
Mm, mm,
man had a temper on him. But it would throw them off completely for the whole day. I was like, but guys, number one, he's like this. You've been working here the longest. Surely
yeah.
you understand the pattern of
Yeah.
how things work. Number two, why are you taking it so damn personally all the time? It's got nothing to do with you. He likes you. He was having beers with you on Friday. You're not a bad person. It's just stress involved, yeah, man. And it's just like I was literally the only one who seemed to balance it. And not to
Mm,
toot my own horn, but it's just like I think because I'd come in so late compared to everyone else to that environment, I didn't have like my own misconception of how things should be.
maybe.
It's like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
from day one, I saw this is how it is. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's not lacquer, but it's fine. At least we understand it. We'll operate around that.
Mm, mm,
But man, it's crazy to see that and the absolute blurring of the relationship because it's just a weird concept because and I see it mostly in the adults, man, in the older generation, if I'm honest
mm.
with you. And I only say that because that's mostly the generation I've worked with so far. So I
No.
don't know what it's like for the guys my age, to be honest with you. I don't know how they handling things in the workplace. And maybe we need guys in the comments to come and inform us,
Yeah. You
which
see.
would be great. But it's just I have seen that and it's crazy how much it can throw people off for
Mm,
an entire week at times. And it's just like, but guys, surely you could just take a step back and understand that, hey,
yeah. Yeah.
hey,
Yeah. Like, it's
hey,
like people say, "Can we just be mature about this?" But then someone else gonna say, "Yeah, it's fine. Things can happen." But we don't need to like shout and all this kind of. Why can't we deal with it properly? I was like, listen, guys. Like I said, there's no such thing as a perfect person. Christ,
100%.
Christ is the only perfect one. That is it.
Yeah, like let's give everyone some slack. Everyone's trying to do things in the way that they think is best.
You know what
And,
I'm saying? It's
whether they come to the realization in a day or in a year that there might be a better way, we all go through it. It's a human process, in all honesty.
we should actually say whether it's a day or a year that it takes them to subscribe to this podcast. It's
The better way is out there.
yeah,
When you subscribe, is up to you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're just putting it out there, kind of
So,
thing.
so for any of the audience that has an employee or someone that is fitting this,
Or even
click,
boss.
yeah, or the boss, or the damn boss. Just be brave. Click the damn share button,
Yeah,
please.
send them the
Send
link.
the link
Send them the
straight to
link.
them.
Because, dude, you know what the trick is like if you look
Yeah,
at the work situation, right? And whether you're working for yourself or you're working for a boss or whatever, it's listen. If you don't earn money, you don't eat. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And we know scripturally that God has empowered us to create wealth. Bible tells us
that's
that.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you look at the workplace, right? It's a lot like school in the sense
Mm.
that you start forming bonds with people that you can't escape.
Bro, it's like that one meme where like you're a 20-year-old, but your best friends are like a 45 and 60-year-old person. It's like it's the people I work with, man. I literally spend all my time with them.
Jeez, exactly, dude. And it's that kind of scenario. So you eventually grow like these love hate relationships, and and you start connecting on more than work and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. But it's so important. And again, I want to stress this, guys, is that you can never walk in this kind of unconditional aspect.
Mm.
if you're not walking with Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just talking about, knowing his word. I'm talking about experiencing him in your heart. You have to, because when you sense the nature of the love that he has for you, right?
Yeah.
You carry that forward to the other imperfect people in your life. You,
Yeah.
you, you know what I'm saying? It's just how it works. And I mean, I had a similar situation, Lou. When I got to corporate and everything, my department I work for, man, everyone amazing, like amazing people. But
Mm.
the thing is just that work consumes so much of your life that you get terribly unbalanced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Physically, emotionally, mentally, personally, with your life goals, all this kind of stuff.
Mm.
And it was so crazy because you spend enough time around people, all the boundaries slowly come down, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you haven't developed the relationship to warrant the boundaries coming down.
It's true.
And I've seen that is where it falls off the bus a bit. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Is that because of familiarity, people think I can drop the boundary because the relationship's strong enough.
It's true, man. That
You
is so true.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But the boundary is there for a reason. It's there to
Yeah.
protect you. It's there to protect the other person.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that person steps over that boundary and they can hurt you. But if they step over their boundary, you can also hurt them. You,
Yeah.
you, you know what I'm saying? And
100%.
and it's this lack of kind of wisdom is the right word, but sort of objectivity,
Mm.
that where people seemingly don't know when to say, okay, I'm gonna keep you there for now.
Yeah.
Let me get more evidence that it's
Mm.
gonna be safe to venture forth there.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it's always such a testament to our need for relationship. Everyone wants to be the best of friends. Everyone wants to help people. Everyone always has it because it's in our design. God made us for a relationship.
Mm.
First with Him and with the loved ones around us, with everyone around us. Like we've said repeatedly, the Bible tells us serve one another in love,
Yeah.
right? And everyone has that in their heart. But it can never be void of that wisdom, never
Yeah.
be void of that objectivity. And the only way we can get that temperament, Lou, is if Christ is our objective anchor. If we understand how his love is
Mm.
towards us and we experience that, what's automatically going to happen with all the people around us is that, okay, wait a minute, the guy at work, we talk about rugby, we talk about all these things, all that kind of stuff. We can keep it there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until there is some trust developed, until there is some understanding developed, all these kind of things,
Mm.
until there's respect that's developed, all that kind of stuff. Because the truth is, it's not always wise to let people into your life.
It's so true, bro. Just because they can be doesn't mean that they should be, in all honesty.
100%.
And
Yeah.
that's something that yes, see, man, I can really relate to a lot of what you're saying there. In the real estate job, the most recent one, is that I was super careful there, man. And this sort of mechanic that I'm about to break down, it doesn't just apply to the workplace.
Mm,
It's
mm,
literally with family, with friends, with strangers, with the people at work. Like it can work across the board. Or should I say I've applied it across the board. And what I found was that, the workplace that I was at or that I found myself in, familiarity, dude, it came about so easily.
yeah.
So, so, so
So
easily.
easy.
And I had to make a decision. And I think it was about after my first year there. In my heart, I had to say, you know what, I'm stepping back here.
Mm,
These relationships, I need to take stock of them because the level of familiarity is not warranted.
mm,
And I could literally see like a few issues were cropping up, because you go out, let's say, for example, on a Friday, you have the work lunch, and then after the work lunch, there's a bit of drinks and it turns into late night. And yeah, it's a great time. Woo. And then come Monday, and it's not a fun discussion because certain targets haven't been met. And all of a sudden, you're like, no,
mm.
man.
Is this the same guy from Friday? What the heck?
Yeah. You're like, but there's some recourse for me, right?
I'm
There's
your
some
friend. I'm your
yeah.
friend.
Where's the like you didn't say anything on Friday. Why were we drinking together if this is how you feel about
Yeah,
me? You see, I just like spirals out of control real quick.
completely.
And
Completely.
I had to like really take a step back because I saw what was happening to a lot of the people around me. I'm like, whoa, is like these people, they're not realizing the level of familiarity,
Mm,
and it's a dangerous thing because it really can result in a lot of frustration and confusion.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
what I realized and the absolute wisdom.
Mm.
It is wise to do that, to take a step back and just take stock. And I
Yeah.
say that also, especially for like family relationships, for example, is that sometimes you need to take a step back. And
Mm.
like you said, the exact words, until there's a bit more evidence,
Yeah.
this relationship cannot go past certain bounds. And the cool thing about doing that, that taking the step back, because it can sound a bit extreme, right?
Yeah.
But the cool thing of doing that with the objective anchor is that in the moments, you still find your heart softening towards those people. You know, like irrespective of me taking a step back, like, you know what, Bash, you know what, you and I, we're not going to do this and this anymore. We're not going to talk about certain things. But with the objective anchor in place, whenever we come to meet, it's still a soft heart to hear what are you actually saying?
Yes.
You know, what is
Exactly.
actually being mentioned here? And that's the beautiful thing that I realized is that, and the thing that I found difficult is to explain that to the other person or communicate it to them so that
Mm.
they understand that, well, there is still very much so potential for us to move forward, yeah. However, from a wisdom or from a wise point of view, that won't be happening right now.
Yeah.
Not until either I've grown up and I've developed a few things in my heart, or until you have, until we both have on different degrees, whatever the case is. But the point I'm trying to make is that taking the step back with the objective anchor always keeps the door open,
Mm.
which I
Of
find
course.
very, very cool.
Of course.
So what's extreme, man? It's like
Yeah.
either you're my best friend or you're not my friend. Like, no, man, for sec. What is this nonsense here?
No, it's tough, eh? It's tough, and it's like with the objective anchor, obviously always Christ, like we say, you never lose value for people. You
Yeah.
even the people that hurt you,
Yeah, as upset as you are, man, the value's
yeah,
still there. And you ask yourself, oh my gosh, why am I still willing to listen to this person? Like literally, Bash, bro, an audience, please, Team Luya, have you not sometimes just asked yourself, why have I still got time and patience for this person? And I'm telling you, that is not of yourself, man.
it's not.
It is not.
Mm.
Because it- humanly speaking, or from a worldly point of view, everything is telling you to pack your bags and run.
Yeah.
And here we are. Let's sit down and talk,
Mm.
or
Mm.
let's pray about it, or let's think about it, or let's do this. It's like, man, Lou, you need to learn, bro. But like you're saying, the objective anchor changes that. And the cool thing about it is that you actually never end up losing
Yeah.
in the long run. It doesn't take from you. You realize you think it's going to take from you, but you actually realize, wait, that actually didn't take from me. It was
Mm.
great. I can
Mm.
do it again. I could do it 1,000 times over.
No, and it's the point of understanding, and we've made uh um that point many times on the previous episodes. Is it's about being a giver. So now when I'm going in and like you were saying, let's sit down, let's pray about it, let's discuss, all these kind of things. I'm not doing it with my heart so wide open, vulnerable, all this kind of stuff. I'm doing it with wisdom, but still having value for the person.
Yeah,
You with me? I'm not putting myself in a place of danger. I'm not doing all this, but I can still have value for that person. You
that's
know,
it.
and that is something only Jesus can give us.
Yeah.
And I like what you were saying about that familiarity, right? Because let me ask you this, right? Um, why do you always laugh every time I want to ask you something?
No, man, you ask stressful questions. I've always prepped myself for them.
Ha- okay, here we go. Have you ever had that moment in life where you were just so desperate for someone that you could be yourself with?
Oh, bro. Yeah. Yeah.
And how often, right? How often when you answered yes,
Yeah.
okay, you prematurely decided that, oh, I can just be myself with this person, and the relationship got absolutely wrecked.
I wouldn't say wrecked, but yeah, it just doesn't work out, you know.
Yeah, just
You're
it,
just
it
like,
just
hey,
didn't materialize.
I misjudged this one, huh?
But don't you think it's amazing that we all have that sense of, "Ah, I just wish I could be myself.
Well,
You know?
Bash, to what you're saying, you know, like that, like, don't you ever just like step back and think about how you wish that, like, a bit of a digression, like let's take the random workplace colleagues.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever taken a step back then, like taken stock, like, yes, see, we are all friends here, but we have got like literally no right to be getting along with anything. But like, man, you'll go to war for this person between 9 and 5, bro. It's just the point I'm trying to make is that that need for human relationship, it is so weird, but
Yeah,
it
dude.
works. It works.
But
It's actually so special as well.
no, it's a beautiful thing, dude. It's such a beautiful thing because when we build relationships with the way God has advised or prescribed, right? Then we get beautiful relationships.
Yeah.
We get fulfilling, rewarding relationships. But that need of I can just be myself with that person, kind of thing.
Mm.
Guys, viewers and Lou now as well, I want to tell you emphatically that
Yeah.
that person, first and foremost, is Christ.
Yeah.
He's the person. I mean, he accepts you, right, as
Yeah.
you are. That is it. So the purpose of that, the reason why he does is so that you can open your heart to him. So
Mm.
that you can know there's no judgment, right? Because like think about when we're around people, Lou.
It's a key mechanic, bro.
Okay, look, I'll expose you on the stream now, right? Because
Nah, 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 nah. That's not allowed, bro. It
because
sounds like under the
no,
belt
no, no,
punch.
no, no, because exposing you, I'm exposing myself as well, right? But how often? Okay, I'm gonna let you swallow your water first before I make the statement. Otherwise,
Let's do this.
we're gonna lose some equipment here. But how often, right, do you have to be conscious about who you're around? Because this thing here, your mouth is gonna cause some heavy problems.
On the daily, bro. On the daily. It's a gift, it's a blessing and a curse, as they
Yeah,
say.
exactly. Yeah, but I mean now that simple thing, and you like, but there are people that you have in your life
Mm.
where you have a bit more freedom with what you want to
Yeah,
say
some
versus
people
other ones.
appreciate it, man. Others just don't. I'm just like, well, all right. And sometimes you find out by mistake, eh?
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes it's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
happy accident, like, oh no.
No, it's true. It's true, but just that basic thing, we all out of a sense of responsibility, we
Mm,
do have a certain way that we carry ourselves around people.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? If a certain person is not comfortable with the way you speak, the responsible, caring thing to do is that when you're around them, address
yeah,
them with respect. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's not a thing of, ugh, I'm just gonna say what I want to say. I don't care about you, kind of thing.
yeah,
It's a thing of if they think my personality is too loud and boisterous, and they feel uncomfortable and nervous, then okay, I'm just gonna tone it down a little bit so that you know what they
yeah.
they,
Be
they
accommodating, make some
yeah,
room.
you know what I'm saying, but not to the point where we're denying basic facts and reality and truth. Not like
Yeah,
that. I'm
yeah.
talking about basic human interaction here.
From a
And
mature point of view.
yes, and having the consideration
Mm,
and the compassion for each other. Yeah, you,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So that sense of I just want to just want to be myself with this person.
Mm,
I promise you, the only person you can be like that with is Jesus, man.
yeah.
That is it. And if you find your comfort with him at that place,
Mm,
you're going to become someone who gives to people. You're going to become someone who becomes a leader. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Because now when you're dealing with people, you're not looking to take from them. You're not looking to see what they can give you. You're looking to give to them. You're looking to serve them to see how you can help them.
Mm,
And it's like that dynamic that you spoke about in the beginning is, with having a mentor or a leader, all that stuff. It's
mm,
amazing that the biblical dynamic is that you should always have a mentor and you should always have a disciple.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because the truth is that whatever that you're getting in terms of your process, the experience you're accumulating, the knowledge that's getting passed down to you, all that stuff, you should be passing it on.
Yeah.
You with me? You should be taking on the responsibility of, okay, let me pass this on to someone to help them.
That's it.
Lou.
And it will help you as well.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I mean, Lou, what did I tell you when you, Delron, you guys rocked up there at church
Yeah.
a very long time ago, by the way. How long ago was it? Jeez, like,
2018, bro.
yeah,
Time's been flying.
praise the Lord. All right,
Yeah.
but I
Praise the
mean,
Lord.
when you guys rocked up there, I mean, the first serious conversation I had with you guys, and I said, listen, guys, if you sit and you listen and you take in as much as you can,
Mm,
you're gonna save yourself 10 years in life.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm 10 years ahead of you. Deeds is another 10 years ahead of me. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I mean, on top of that, you got 20 years of experience, right?
Yeah.
That you can add to your years if you would choose to learn. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I look at you guys, and okay, it speaks for itself. You guys are,
Yeah.
you guys have really uh, um, jumped a lot of potholes and hurdles, and skipped a lot of hard
Mm,
lessons because why you've chosen to do that.
yeah.
And the time is approaching now for you guys, obviously, where you got to start taking that responsibility to lead others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You guys are approaching that moment, and we're like, okay, we actually do have some experience to pass on. Yeah.
You know
You
what's
with
so
me?
cool about that reality? Because yes, it smacks you in the face
Mm.
where you actually realize, wait, I'm in a position in anything, whether it's work or life or relationships or whatever it may be, where you realize I'm in a position to start giving more than what I'm receiving. And the cool thing about that is that it actually, number one, it makes you appreciate what you've been receiving one
Yeah.
hell of a lot more. You
Yeah.
actually begin to see the value in it tremendously more.
Mm.
Like it literally skyrockets. But number two, the level of accountability that then settles into you
Yeah.
as a person.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's cool. I don't
Mm.
even have to work hard for it. It literally, it's like it's, and I always use this as an example. Your brother, key case, the day he got married, I promise you, he changed. He changed, bro. Like literally, it wasn't a big physical change, but I'm just saying the way he carried himself.
Yeah. Boy became a man.
Yeah, exactly. You know, literally from boy to man, it happened. I saw the transition in front of my eyes, and I was just
Mm.
like, that is cool. That is really cool. Like, I want to get married now. Hey, who's available? Let's do this.
Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, okay. I love the excitement, but
That's how cool it was,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That's
Okay,
how cool
okay,
it was.
okay.
But it's
Cool.
just like it was that accountability that settled on him to say
Mm.
that, you know what, now I'm gonna step out from not leading to leading,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and it's just him taking up that basically like, you know, picking up his cross, if you want to call it that,
Yeah.
for the marriage. And it's just it was so beautiful and it was inspiring as heck as well to see.
Mm.
And the point I'm trying to make is I'm finally getting there, is that that transition that transition of being able to step out of being a disciple into a mentor in any aspect
Mm.
of life. It is a beautiful one. And I do think a lot of people don't even think about that anymore, man.
Yeah.
You know, in this
Yeah.
society that we live in where it's money and status and this and that, where's the space for mentorship, man? Where's the
Mm.
space for, you know what? I see someone with potential, not just the potential to make me money, but actual potential and value as a person, as a human being. And I want to help them.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, like
Exactly. Yeah.
there's no space for that. And in all honesty, that's the better way, guys. I
It
mean, if
is.
our let's take it back to what we started this episode off with. If the older generations had that in mind, I'm sure there'd be a lot more people listening to them as well.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
not to bash the older generation, I'm just saying, you know, if that was a mentality that has been carried through or would be carried through, we'd be in a much different place right now.
Mm.
You know,
Look, I don't think none of them did. I just think it was a minority. You know,
no, definitely
yeah,
minority, but yeah,
I haven't
not
come
none.
across like a huge multitude. You know, but there are certain of the older generation that I've looked at and I thought to myself, it's like, and you know what the key is that you don't want to get to age 70, 80, 90 and realize, oh, I don't have much time left here. Let me try and do something. You know what I'm saying? It's every day you got to realize that, okay, you know what? We're just passing through this place. You
So
know,
journeying, man.
yeah, the Bible tells us that, you know, but while we're here passing through, you know, we must have it in our hearts to make the most of everything. And that's what we can achieve in and of ourselves,
Mm.
you know, but also what we can give. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, like let's take that thing about helping people, you know. Um, so you started your business this year, right? End of last year.
This year,
Oh, yeah, this year. How old are you now?
24,
Okay, so you're 23 when you started your business, right?
24.
Oh, you turned 24
Yeah,
this year,
yeah.
and you started your business beginning of this year.
Middle of this year.
Oh, oh, happy birthday to you! Started a business. That's great.
Thank you.
But I mean, now you look at let's take that journey because you and I have been having talks about this thing for over 3 years, I think now. You know,
Yeah.
about how to you know experience God as a provider, how to find your identity in Him. You know, how to take these strategies and apply them, you know, to
Mm.
business, how to find out what your gifts are and trust in the Holy Spirit for a vision to actually, you know, empower it and bring it to something that is real. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And even though you're in the infancy of it, you know, the thing is that it is now a reality that you are turning and you're working, you know,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I mean, you were able to save so many years of your life, you know what I'm saying, simply because of the relationship you had with a few older people around you.
It's true.
That when you wanted to do something, someone would come along and say, "Hey, actually, that's a good idea, but do it this way instead of that."
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Or you'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and someone would be like, "Oh, wow, I haven't actually seen that. How does it work?" And then you have an opportunity to teach. But
Yeah.
let me ask you this: another question. Don't get nervous, right? What has it done in your own heart, right? This process that you've been on.
Yeah.
What has it done in your own heart to help the next batch behind you now? So like the 18 to the 23-year olds.
Sheesh. It's a loaded question, man. I'll be honest in telling you that it's given another perspective to the entire vision.
Mm,
So, like you're saying, this has been an ongoing discussion for the past 3 years. I'll be honest in saying that for the first, I'd say almost 3 quarters of those 3 years, that vision only had one person in mind, and that was myself.
mm,
It was only
mm,
going to look after me. It was only going to support me. It was only going to help me, uplift me, do things that I wanted. It was going to make Lou happy. And there was a shift towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, where the vision started to be like, but wait, if this can become about more than just myself, great.
mm.
Objective anchor, Jesus, what does that look like?
Yeah,
Let's move.
yeah.
Let's go for it. And that is what's happened is that the process turned from just being me, myself and I, and making myself look good and exceptional and good looking and great and all those things that we could argue I already am. But no, I'm joking. I'm joking. Audience, it's a joke. Relax, please. But it's taken a turn, from being how can I say that centered onto myself to centered to now forward thinking for other
Mm,
people, for future generations. Because honestly, I've taken stock and I've been like, you know what, this is what you have done for me. This is what Diddy has done for me.
mm.
This is what X, Y, and Z person has done for me. I was like, who am I not to carry that torch forward?
Yeah, of
You
course.
know? And I
Yeah.
realized that my heart wasn't ready to step out into making a decision like that until I saw value beyond myself.
Mm, mm.
Which might sound weird to the world, man. It might sound very weird to be saying that, but it's the truth.
It is.
It is the
It
absolute
is.
truth. And the
Yeah.
better way is the way that doesn't just think about me, man.
Mm,
It's the way that doesn't just include the letter I.
yeah.
It has to spread beyond that. And it's a weird thing as well, because it does change the picture a lot.
Mm.
Immediately realize, wait a minute, the way I've been thinking about everything was just for me. Now I've got nothing. I have to basically restart now in a sense, which is also extreme.
Wait,
And
wait,
I was
wait.
like,
You
yeah,
have to respawn.
I have to respawn. Yeah, exactly, bro. It's so cringe, but nice. I'm glad you put it in there.
But listen,
And
I mean, to what we started, right?
yeah,
Because I don't know where the time goes when we're speaking, but anyway, to kind of like wrap up this intro to this episode, and viewers, guys on the reels, whatever it is, please just if you want to hear more about this, because I feel like Lou, this is something we should touch on,
yeah,
um, um, on how we spoke about process and all those kind of things, but what we spoke about now, I mean, we started speaking about the lull, right?
yeah.
Of not being able to create and all these kind of things, sort of thing. But the truth is, you don't need to be in that position where you are creating your own things or whatever. What you need to be doing is creating in someone else.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying? Facilitating in someone else and helping
mm,
someone else. Because every single one of us has something to give.
that's beautiful, and
Yeah,
that's yeah, that opens a can of worms.
that's it, dude. We every single one of us has something to give. And I think, from my side, just to close off here, I've got this thing, and Lou, I mentioned it to you before. This is how it helps us on our own process. Okay. So we're all
Yeah,
learning, we're all experiencing, all this kind of stuff, right? But there's this thing called the learning pyramid. Okay. And it was very interesting. I want to read it out. Okay. So
go for it.
this is your levels of retention within your learning pyramid. Okay.
Yeah,
So if you just listen to something, it's 5%. Right. If you read it, it's 10%. If you listen and you read, it's 20%.
yeah,
All right. If you demonstrate it, okay, it's 30%. Right. If
hmm,
you discuss it, it's 50%. Right. If you apply it in your own life and do it, 75%. But if you teach it to someone else, 90%, bro.
sheesh, that is a jump.
90%.
That is an absolute jump.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know what, guys, test yourself. You know what? If you depressed, if you sad, if whatever it is, make a decision in your heart to connect with someone to give them something. I promise you, you're gonna be so happy. You're gonna be so charged, right?
Mm.
And even if it's the simplest thing, listen, if you're listening to this and all you got to offer is good skills on FIFA, on PlayStation, man, help someone. Make a video, connect with someone, say, hey, listen, try this trick, give the combination, whatever it is, but
Yep,
help someone.
that's it.
Yeah.
Apparently, Shadow Ethan needs help on FIFA. You'll see his Instagram in our links, guys.
Yeah, go check him out if you guys want to give him some pointers there. So yeah, so I think from my side, for this episode, Lou, I just want to say, guys, to get out of your lull, the key is not having oh, if I could just do this in life and all that stuff. No, no, no. Make Christ your perfect environment, right?
Mm,
And make a decision to give to people every day, even if it's just kind words. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? You see someone sad, just tell them, hey, man, you're looking good today. Hey, do you know that Jesus loves you? Whatever it is, start with your words,
Mm,
and just build a habit of giving to people. And I promise you, you're going to feel so much lighter. You're going to feel charged. You're going to feel energetic. You're going to feel empowered. And all the more, you're going to want to connect with Jesus even more because you want what he has so that you can give it to people. So,
that's it.
from my side, Sir Bash, as I have now been dubbed, grace and peace. And we're going to see you guys on the next episode.
Yeah, man, that's a cool episode, bro. I'm looking forward to the direction which we're going in. Audience, guys, come on, go out and get it, man. It's really not that. It's not as far away as you think. So go out there, give out of yourself, and let the objective anchor start taking place in your life.
That's it.
And yeah, as always, guys, welcome to Respawn.